Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you have an amazing day. I'm here to give you guys my Monday Night Raw review for April 27th, 2026. Before we get into review, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more good content headed your way. Before we get to the actual breakdown of the show, this show was boring to me. The first 22 minutes was good, and the last, you could say, 20 minutes of the show was actually good. Other than that, the second hour pretty much dragged this entire night. It was pretty much boring after the first segment, which we'll get into, but overall, the show was a C-. Was it a D+? Was it boring? Do I need to come on here and yell and scream and do a rant? No. Was it an A or a B? No. It was a C right in the middle. This show continuously is a D or a C every single week with no room of improvement. This company is very, very lazy. And when it comes to the booking of this show, you will see that throughout this review. This company is very, very lazy, especially when it comes to one person in particular, Obafemi. That really set me off, but I'm not going to come up here and yell. I might yell about it, but they're inept to be able to write a story. Is just completely draining at this point. As a wrestling fan, this is getting tiring. Now, TKO extended Triple H's contract for a multi-year contract according to FightfulSelect.com. Shout out Shawn Sapp, who's leading the way over there at Fightful. Shout out to him and Jimmy Van. But if that is true, and Triple H has gotten an extension on his contract, which I have no problem with it. Again, I would rather Triple H run creative than Brian Gewirtz and The Rock and that stupid duo. But this is getting ridiculous, how these shows are not being booked right, how these shows are not presenting anything else but the same old thing every single week. Now, Triple H did say one time, well, it's hard to book a show. It's harder than you guys think. If it's too hard for you, then get out the job and let somebody else come do it. Now, I don't think he wants that. I think he genuinely wants to be in charge in the company. That's fine. I have no problem with it. The problem I have is the inconsistencies in booking, the non-booking, the non-stories. What are we here for? Why do you want fans to watch this if you're going to continuously do the same thing every single week? This show, besides Roman Reigns opening and closing the show, what else is there? So what do they have? They have absolutely nothing. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, a match that you kept off WrestleMania. Asuka and Io Sky, a match that you kept off WrestleMania. And the reason why you kept them off of WrestleMania is because you had nothing after WrestleMania because you didn't know what you were going to do. So you kept two matches off the card to put it on Backlash so that you could get away with not having anything to book. And don't get it twisted, guys. This is my quote-unquote conspiracy theory. I believe that they did not have Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins because if they would have had that match, Gunther would have had nothing. And you guys know that Triple H's favorite, yes, Triple H's favorite, Gunther, could not be left off WrestleMania after he retired John Cena and AJ Styles. It was just not going to happen. Ridiculous. Did Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker have a good promo tonight? Yes, they had a good promo tonight. Asuka and Io Sky looks very, very dumb right now because they released Kairi Sane. That's what Triple H did. He released Kairi Sane. He's the one that decides who gets released, and he released Kairi Sane because they couldn't follow up with the story. This company does not know what they're doing. This is just very, very lazy. Triple H, I believed, her contract was up, so they weren't going to extend it. Why would you not extend it when they just won the tag team titles? And they were the Kabuki Warriors, and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky beat Kairi Sane and Asuka. Why? Why would you not renew her contract? That makes no sense at all. You know why? Because they were too lazy to do a follow-up with the story, and they released her and let her go, and now you see the ripple effect of it when everybody's chanting, "We want Kairi." You knew that this was a story that they've been telling since September, and yet you let her go. They're very, very lazy. I'm telling you guys, everybody who's watching this, to the new people that's watching this, thank you. These people are lazy when it comes to booking. These people are very, very lazy in the WWE when it comes to booking professional wrestling. Tonight's rundown for the matches, it was Bayley and Valkyria versus the Judgment Days, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. That's another thing too. You were pushing Raquel Rodriguez against Stephanie Valkyria while Liv Morgan was out. And you were pushing Roxanne Perez before she got injured and she came back again and then she collided and hit heads with Liv Morgan. So you're pushing Raquel Rodriguez all year with Roxanne Perez in the Judgment Day and they couldn't replace the Bellas at WrestleMania? Again, what are we doing? The next match we had was a non-title match with Penta versus Rusev. As if I want to see Penta versus Rusev again. There is everybody, the Intercontinental title picture is looking great. Yes, it's a bunch of wrestlers who are good, and that's it. There's no story behind it. What's the story in the IC title picture? Ethan Page comes to the main roster. Okay, fine. Javon Evans is bouncy. Okay, and I like Javon Evans. He's bouncy. Okay, what else? Penta does the Mexican Destroyer. Okay, that's it. What else is there? Rey Mysterio's there too. Okay, what else? It's just a bunch of guys standing around for IC title opportunity. Does the division look good? Yes. What do you do after that? Where's the storylines for this? We get a live Joe Hendry contract because apparently he's on Monday Night Raw now. Becky Lynch returns to Raw tonight. Seth Rollins will open the show, and World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns will respond to the Samoan Werewolf's Jacob Fatu. That's the rundown for Raw tonight. Now, Monday Night Raw tonight was live from the Sam's Auto Arena in Laredo, Texas. I thought they kept saying Toledo, Texas, but they kept saying Laredo, Texas. The show opens up with Michael Cole and Corey Graves welcome to the show. The same thing every single week. I complain about this every single week. It's the same opening, no pyro. That's the one thing. I'm going to repeat it every week. The one thing I hate that about Vince McMahon that's gone is the presentation of this product. This product, the presentation of WWE Monday Night Raw, WWE Friday Night SmackDown is horrible. The presentation of these pay-per-views are terrible. The same sets, nothing spectacular. They're so cheap, yet they tout about all this money they make, and we get no pyro every single week. Vince McMahon made these shows for the poor. Now, I know Vince McMahon later on, before he left, they stopped having pyro, and they don't want to pay for the budget. Then stop bragging about how much money you're making if you don't want to spend for the budget. This is why people who do not know anything about the wrestling business should not own the wrestling business. You're supposed to be putting on a show every single week for families to be able to come and be entertained. And the opening presentation, first of all, let's just get one thing clear. The set, the Monday Night Raw set, by the way, before we even get to that, they said that they had new graphics for SmackDown and Raw. Mainly SmackDown when that report came out. But they weren't changing the set. Can you believe it? We have new graphics, but we're not going to change the set, and we're not going to change anything else. These sets look terrible. Whoever idea it was to have the small setup, listen, you guys are not selling out every single show no more like you was in 2024. That's why the sets got smaller, because they wanted people in the back to be able to see the crowd and be able to see the ring and stuff like that. You guys are not selling out like you used to. You're not selling out every single event month after month, show after show like you was in 2024. You're not selling out every single show. You're not. These sets look horrible. The shows feel bland. The same welcome to the shows that we get every single week. It's disgusting. SmackDown and Raw should not look the same if you're telling me that there's a brand split. If you're telling me that there are different champions on this brand and there are different champions on this brand, I need better presentation. Do you guys remember before the situation happened in 2020 when everybody had to stay inside the houses? And SmackDown had that beautiful, nice set that they barely use that set. Why don't they bring that back for SmackDown? The Monday Night Raw set, how about you give something different for the fans to look at? When Roman Reigns comes out, his presentation, okay, he has the aura fine. But other than that, this looks horrible. The presentation of these shows are absolute garbage. The presentation of these pay-per-views are absolutely garbage. I bet you Backlash gonna look terrible. And people say, well, why does it bother you? It bothers me because it's about presentation. It's supposed to be sports and entertainment. The presentation of your product matters. And their product looks horrible. Not only from the booking and the storyline perspectives, but the actual presentation of the company looks awful. That setup on Monday Night Raw looks terrible, and SmackDown. And if I'm Netflix, you're paying all this money to look like this? This is what we're looking like. But anyway, that's my little nitpick for today's review. So the show opens up with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, the same welcome again. We then see Roman Reigns with Jimmy and Jey Uso in a conference room. This is what they call cinema. And he says they know about him, and they're the only one he can trust. Roman then says he wants their input about Jacob Fatu. Roman then says he gave everyone 2 years, and they all waited. They didn't do anything. The comments that he made on Pat McAfee's show. Jimmy then says he agrees with Jacob. He sees that he wants to upgrade his life, but not at the expense of Roman Reigns. Jey then says Jacob is dangerous. He then says they saw Jacob get rid of the MFTs single-handedly. He then says they left him out there for a reason, which basically out of the company for a reason. He then says if he wins, he takes it all. Jey then says he can't be about respect. He then says there have to be consequences. Roman and Jey then say consequences. So they're looking at it like consequences. Roman repeats it again. And Roman says they aren't doing charity. He then says he's going to think it over and address it later tonight, which we all know that's going to be the main event. They all basically, Jimmy and Jey shake hands. They dap up. Roman Reigns puts his hands over them and say they're the first family. So after that, we get Seth Rollins' music then hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Seth grabs the microphone, talks about welcoming everybody to the show. Monday Night Rollins. The same thing he does every single time. Seth then says He has a lot of ground to cover. Seth then says there is a reason why he lost to Gunther at WrestleMania, and it was not because Gunther was the better man that night. Seth then says there is a reason why Roman Reigns has his title. Seth then says it is not because Roman pinned him. Seth then says they are both because of Braun Breaker. So now, after that, Braun Breaker comes out. His music hits. He makes his way down to the ring with Paul Heyman. Braun then gets to Seth around his face and says Seth gave him everything. Seth then says he handed it to him on a silver platter. Seth then says you repaid him by taking everything away from him. Seth then says you are the reason he had to forfeit the title, and you're the reason why he didn't main event WrestleMania, and the reason why he didn't get his hand raised at WrestleMania. Seth then says for what? Seth then says how did it benefit you to Braun Breaker? Heyman then asks Braun Breaker to step back. Heyman gives the microphone to Braun Breaker. Braun then says if Seth gave him everything, Braun then says, what did you give him and Bronson Reed? Braun then says, every week we your errand boys, putting out your fires that you started. Braun then says you have no one and no friends. Braun then says you need us to fight all of your fights. Braun then says you gave him great wisdom, but then says you came out at the start of the show, regurgitated the same crap while they stood behind him, and he basically put his hand on his nose to basically try to sound like Seth Rollins. I am a visionary, I'm a revolutionary, I am Seth freaking Rollins, the same thing every single week. Braun then says he never needed Seth. Braun then says they are standing here because he needed Heyman. Seth then asks Braun if he needed Heyman. He then says, that dried sack of meat. Seth then says you proved everything right about him. So this entire promo that going back and forth, basically Seth Rollins basically challenging him, saying how he called Shawn Michaels on the phone, said he want to come to NXT and face somebody. And Shawn Michaels said Braun Breaker. After that, when Paul Heyman came up to him and said, hey, listen, you want to bring Braun Breaker under your ring? He says yes, but Seth Rollins tells him that he is not ready. That he is not ready to be in the main event. Braun then says that he is ready to be in the main event. And he says, then after that, Seth says, well, what does this bring you besides Austin Theory and Logan Paul? Braun then says he didn't get it done against CM Punk, but he knew that he lost to the best in the world instead of the person who self-proclaimed it. He then says, all you have done, and this says you are the very best professional wrestler in the world at being number 2. Seth Rollins then says you are not even the number 2 in your family. This was a great back and forth. It was a whole lot more, but I want you guys to go look at it after you get done watching my review and my thoughts on it. I'm not going to read every single promo like I usually do, just to give you guys a feel of what they were talking about. Now, again, this is good between Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, don't get me wrong. This is a great opening to the show. From 8 o'clock to 8:22, this was good. I like their back and forth. I like the fact that they were basically explaining to each other and actually talking through it and actually explaining creatively what they're going to do to each other and all this other stuff like that. So, or why they feel the way about each other. So, basically, this was a good promo between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. I had no problem with this exchange between the two of them. After that, we did see Stephanie Valkyria walking backstage in the back, and she is met with a punch from Raquel Rodriguez. Roxanne then pushes a storage case into Stephanie. Liv Morgan then tells Stephanie this is her championship. With all due respect to this storyline right here, I'm done with it. I don't want to see Stephanie Valkyria. Hopefully this is maybe, I look like they're writing her off with the way they smashed her with the storage case. I don't know what they're going to do, but this is why I said personally, I did not want Liv Morgan to be world champion again. I do not want the women's world title being revolved around the Judgment Day. Enough is enough. I don't care about the Judgment Day anymore. Finn Balor's gone. Dominic Mysterio wasn't. I didn't even see him tonight. And if he was there, it must have been on commercial break. Jaden McDonough wasn't there. Finn Balor was there, but like, come on, what are we doing? We're running the same thing over and over again. There are more women on this roster, and yet we don't have nothing. It's the same thing every single week. I don't care about Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyria anymore. I don't care. This is why I tell you the show goes downhill. After this opening segment that was 22 minutes plus Roman Reigns, I don't care anything about Stephanie Valkyria and Liv Morgan. I don't care. Liv Morgan being world champion is nauseating. Why is it nauseating? Because she has Judgment Day continuously backing her up. It's been like this for years and years and years. Enough of this. Enough. I've had it. Penta makes his way down to the ring. Listen, it was Penta versus Rusev. Penta gets the roll up for the win. After this match, Rusev attacks Penta and Page. Ethan Page enters the ring. Rusev then wants to know what Paige is doing in the ring, and Rusev continues to kick and punches. Penta then hits several chops to Rusev, and Paige hits Penta from behind. They both kick Penta. Guess who comes out? I love Javon Evans. Javon Evans comes out. He runs out there. He springboard clotheslines Ethan Page. After that, Rusev goes to the top rope. Springboard clothesline. After that, Javon Evans ducks Rusev. Penta hits him with a super kick. Hits him. And then after that, Javon Evans hits the OG cutter. After that, Penta and Javon Evans shake hands. Boring. I don't care about this. Again, after Penta's done with this IC title run, please, for God's sakes, put him with his brother. I can't take it anymore. The tag team division is lacking on SmackDown. After Penta drops the IC title to whoever, put him on SmackDown with his brother. His brother right now, it's not even fair what they're doing to his brother. Come on now. His brother's talented and they're not even doing anything with him. This is creative malpractice at this particular point. Besides Penta being Cero Miedo, he has nothing. He has nothing. What's the story behind Penta? Nothing. After that, we see Los Americanos. I'm not reviewing this. I'm not going over their stupid segment. I told you guys I'm done with Los Americanos. I think it's idiotic. I think that Ludwig Kaiser is more talented than what they're doing with him. And because they don't know how to book him creatively, they put him under a mask to be a cultural appropriation. Now, I don't claim that wisely. I don't claim that every single time. Oh, something is this and I'm offended. I'm not really offended by anything. The reason why I'm pointing it out is because I'm getting sick of it. You have plenty of luchadors in this company that can be over and that can be benefit from this particular spotlight. But instead, you have a white guy in Ludwig Kaiser and two other white guys basically cosplaying as Mexican luchadors. It's a slap in the face to the luchadors that are in the company. And not only that, then you have Chad Gable. By the way, the last time we seen Chad Gable without the mask was before he was injured. So technically, realistically, if you want to go like this, with your fingers, realistically, Chad Gable hasn't come back to TV yet, even though he has. So he's not with the American Made anymore? What happened to that? Do you see the inconsistencies in booking with this particular company? And then you wonder, where's Ivy now? Even though we don't care, but where's Ivy now and the Creed brothers? This is just disgusting. After that, Becky Lynch's music then hits. She makes her way down to the ring. Becky then grabs a mic and starts up by saying the man, the new Intercontinental champion, has come back to Laredo, Texas. Becky then says a lot of her history was made at WrestleMania 42. Becky says she got rid of AJ Lee and her horrible title reign. Becky then says she became the first WWE superstar in history to win 4 different titles at WrestleMania. Becky then says she became the first ever 3-time Women's Intercontinental champion, obviously because the title was just created last year. Duh. Becky then says she now has won more WrestleMania matches in history than any other woman, which is basically 5. Becky jokingly says that she's coming for The Undertaker next, which we all know she's not. Becky says what happened after WrestleMania 42 match was more important. Becky says she needs to show her daughter that what a real champion is as she woke up the ramp. Becky says she knows fans want to hug her, or wants her to be a fighting champion. Becky then issues an open challenge to whoever wants to come out here and have her look her in the eyes. Becky says, welcome to the big time. Io Sky's music then hits. Io accept Becky challenge, open challenge. Becky then asks Io, you accept that? You accept what? Becky then says she wanted to fight the best of the best. She doesn't think Io fits into that category. Becky then says she thinks Io accepted her challenge on behalf of Rhea Ripley. Io then slaps Becky and sends her out of the ring. Adam Pearce comes out. Of course he does the same week because they don't know how to book a damn thing. So there's an open challenge. Now, we canceled the United States Open Challenge, but now we have the Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge by Becky Lynch because they don't know how to make new contenders. So here's Open Challenge. Here's Io Sky. Here's Io Sky because we don't know how to do anything right. Then we get Adam Pearce's bald ass to come out there. He makes way out of the ring, and then he makes the match. Do you guys want to see the match? It's the same thing every single week. They do the same thing. Non-creative bullshit. After that, Becky then attacks Io from behind. Becky hits the manhandle slam after Asuka came out and tripped Io Sky on the turnbuckle or the rope or the apron, whatever you want to call it. After that, Becky Lynch hits the manhandle slam for the win. After that, Becky Lynch walks out of the ring. She looks at Asuka. Asuka goes into the ring. By the way, they're chanting, we want Kairi Sane. Asuka kicks Io Sky, and that's pretty much it. She beats her up. The same thing we get every single week. After that, we see Rey Mysterio in the locker room, and the original Grande Americano comes in, and that's when I muted it because I said I'm not reviewing this because I don't care about none of these Los Americanos. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry if you're watching this review and you say, well, why is he skipping over Grande Americano? Because I don't care nothing about it, and I'm not wasting my time no more. Triple H doesn't know how to book anything, and then he wonder why everybody gets mad at him for the creative that he puts on. Put the Americanos back on AAA and leave them there. So now we get a match between Rey Mysterio and the Americano. Lord have mercy. We then see Byron Saxton with Jimmy and Jey Uso in the back as he asks if they have any information about Roman's decision. They say Roman will make his decision when he is ready. LA Knight then shows up and he asks if he heard what they heard. Or if he heard what he heard, Knight then reminds them that Jey is a former world champion. He then says Jimmy has the potential to be a world champion, which I agree with that. Jey then tells Knight to stay in his lane. I'm getting sick of this whole Jey Uso being tough act. If there's anybody who should be the tough one, it's Jimmy. Because he was doing that with Roman Reigns when he was a heel and he betrayed his own brother. Now you have Jey being a rowdy one. It makes no sense at all. Jey's being he is the hothead, I get it. But Jimmy Uso was the tough one, the funny one, but tough at certain times when Roman Reigns needed him to be there when Jey left the group. Listen. If he's going to be the hothead, let him be the hothead. Do I care? No, I don't. He tells him to stay in his lane. Jimmy then says this is family business. Knight then says he can respect that. He then says you had the power when you were together, but that power corrupted. He then says it is his business. I don't care about LA Knight no more. Enough. Triple H is not going to push LA Knight the way people think he's going to be pushed. He's not going to get it. For some reason, Triple H don't like this dude. Allegedly. For some reason, Triple H does not like LA Knight. And I don't know why. He's doing everything that he can to get over. And this company being so stupid, they don't know how to book LA Knight. What's LA Knight going to do now? He's going to win an IC title? He's going to go back to SmackDown, become United States Champion again? Is he going to challenge Cody Rhodes on SmackDown now? What are you going to do? They have no plans for LA Knight. After that stupid-ass tag team match they had against the Vision and IShowSpeed at WrestleMania. Just stupid. They don't know how to book a damn thing. And you guys wonder why people come on here and complain. Oh, you guys just complaining. You guys can't enjoy anything, man. Shut up. Joe Hendry makes his way down to the ring as if I didn't have enough trouble. Joe Hendry's in the ring. He says he has a big decision to make lately. And he would tell about it in the song. Joe then tells the time he has to pick a brand. I don't care anything about Joe Hendry and anything like that. The Vision come out and basically stop his little stupid concert. After that, Montez Ford and Angel Dawkins come out and they basically get rid of Logan Paul and Austin Theory. After that, that segment was very, very dumb and stupid. I didn't care anything about it. We then see Grayson Waller and Adam Pearce backstage. Waller isn't happy with the Raw General Manager handing out opportunities to anybody. Pearce gives him Oba Femi, and the Ruler is standing behind Grayson Waller. Oba then says he wants to face Waller tonight. Pearson makes the match official. After that, we then see Joe Hendry thanking the Street Profits for help. Ford then tells Joe to get a different color shirt. Seth Rollins shows up and he brings up last week how they basically came out there and saved him last week. Ford then says Seth Rollins thinks it's about him, but Dawkins says it's about the titles. I'm glad to see the Street Profits back, especially when it comes to this tag team division. Hopefully they take the belts off of the stupid Vision because Austin Theory can't get over and Logan Paul, I don't even care. Rey Mysterio makes his way down to the ring. Rey Mysterio wins his match against Los Americanos. I'm not going over that match. It's stupid. After the match, Rey holds the middle piece and takes it with him as he leaves. The original Grand Americano then hits a drop kick to Grande and they throw punches. Officials come out to separate them. The same thing with security every single week. This is the dumbest thing in the world. I don't care about the Grand Americanos. It's very, very dumb. We then see Jacob Fatu backstage. He awaits the decision from the OTC. And then after that, it is announced that Backlash, Seth Rollins will face Braun Breaker. Io Sky will face Asuka. Asuka then cuts a promo and says, if Io thought that Asuka was done with her, she's made a mistake. I'm still your senpai. And the same thing she says every single week. So that was it. There was nothing to this promo. After that, Grayson Waller makes his way down to the ring with his match against Oba Femi. Oba Femi hits the fall from Grayson. He wins. It was basically a nothing match. And then after the match, this is where my blood is just boiling at this point. The winning match of Oba Femi. After the match, Oba Femi grabs the microphone and asks everyone, is everyone feeling good? Oba then says he is feeling good, but Waller is not feeling good, and they don't care about him. Oba then says Waller said something that was right. Oba then says everyone that there is no opportunity around here because the champions are tied up. Oba then says he created a solution to the problem. Oba then says he is starting the Oba Femi Open Challenge. Another open challenge. Another one. We just got rid of one. Now we have another one again. All this says any man who wants to prove himself, stand up. All this says if you want to see him, you basically got to come to the top of the mountain to prove it. All says he will be merciless and unforgiving. All says you are not stepping in with any man but the ruler. That's how he says it. After that, I am just pissed off at this point. Well, Brandon, why are you mad? You know why I'm mad? I'm mad because instead of just saying, Obafemi, you're not going to be on TV for a while because we don't know what to do with you. We're going to put you on TV every single week and have an open challenge. And then you're going to job out. After you beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and retire Brock Lesnar for now, then you come out there and give him Grayson Waller? You have nothing for this dude. You have nothing for Obafemi, so you put him against Grayson Waller. What type of booking is this? Triple H, this is on you. Listen, I got it when TKO got involved with the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton thing, and they brought in Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. With all due respect, get it together. I don't give a damn that you got a new contract. This is ridiculous. Obafemi has to face Grayson Waller? And now we get an open challenge. It's going to be a bunch of jobbing matches, but a bunch of jobbers, because you guys don't know how to write for Obafemi. You guys don't know how to book Obafemi after he beat Brock Lesnar, but you should have had a plan all along. And now Obafemi's a babyface, and he can't challenge for the IC title because guess what? It's on a babyface. This company is stuck on stupid. They're just dumb. They don't know how to book a damn thing. They don't know how to book anything, and it's insulting to the people who have to watch this, or who love wrestling and want to watch it every single week, to give it its praise and its love that we want to give it. This company doesn't know what they're doing. After that, we see Liv Morgan backstage. The Judgment Day's backstage having a kumbaya moment. Raquel Rodriguez leaves. Then Liv Morgan tells Roxanne Perez, we got to go back to the conversation that we had when we basically bumped each other's heads. Then, Finn brought you into Judgment Day, but you're my family now. Sisters, it's the same crap every single week again. I don't care anything about this. Finn Balor then walks in after Liv Morgan leaves. And she says, basically, you can't trust him. She says, can I not trust him? I can't trust you. Basically says, leave before you get hurt, and the Judgment Day is my family. Did I care about this? No, I did not. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria make their way down to the ring for the main event of the night, and the Judgment Day follows. Guess who won this match in her hometown? Liv then drops Bayley on the ropes, and Perez hits a Shining Wizard and a Pop Rocks for the win. The winners of this match was the Judgment Day. Congratulations. That was okay. We then take a look at Sol Ruka being announced that she will sign her Raw contract next week. So let me get this straight. You was on Raw. You brought her up on Raw. Why didn't you guys have Ethan Page sign his contract this week on Raw? So Sol Ruka, who wrestled a match on Raw, the same thing with Ethan Page, wrestled a match last week. Why does she get a contract signing and Ethan Page doesn't sign his contract? Where was his contract signing? I'll wait. Exactly my point. It didn't happen. So why are we getting Sol Ruka announced for next week in a contract signing? Because they don't know how to book, and they can just continuously give us nothing every single week. This company's just so idiotic. I pretty much through with this show. This is the last segment of the show, and I'm getting out of here because I've had it with this company, man. They don't know what they're doing. Roman Reigns music, he takes his sweet ass time to get to the ring. We get another commercial, and by the way, I'm so sick of this. I hate Netflix. Alright, I hate Netflix. I hate these ads. It's the stupidest thing in the world. It is so many ads. It's ridiculous. This is worse than commercials on USA Network. Allegedly, TKO must be in so much debt that they just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves. So after Roman Reigns makes his entrance, when they come back to after the ad break, Roman Reigns is still doing his entrance because he's waiting for the camera to come back so he could point and put his ones to the sky. Roman then grabs the mic and starts up by saying it's been a while since he's been in Texas, but fans here love their tribal chief. Roman then says they made this title in spite of him. Roman then says they made this title to take from his shine. Roman then says it never worked. Roman then says there is a saying, the title doesn't make the man, but the man makes the title. Roman then goes on to say that he put it in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. Roman then says he made this title relevant. Roman then says now you can be proud of this title. Roman says you can respect this title. It then says you can acknowledge this title. Roman then says he wants some acknowledging, so he asks Laredo, Texas to acknowledge him, and they're chanting Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, OTC, OTC. So the same thing like we get every week. Jake got Fatu's music then hits. He makes his way down to the ring. Roman then says, right on cue. Roman then says, perfect time. Roman then says he was getting to Fatu. Roman then says he gave him a week and time to figure it out. Roman then says he hopes Fatu made the right choice. Roman says the choice to unite the family, not divide it. Fatu says that he didn't need a week, he needed a day, he needed an hour to figure out how he was going to basically go at Roman Reigns. Fatu says he wants the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Fatu says that 12 years of hard work, Fatu says he was broke when Roman Reigns was running the bloodline. Fatu then says the OTC didn't call him, but it was Sol Sikoa that brought him in. Fatu says that Sol Sikoa gave him a chance. After that, Roman then tells Fatu to slow down. Then he calls Jacob Fatu dumb. Roman then tells Fatu to take a look around and see who runs this place, and the crowd starts chanting OTC, OTC. Then Roman says the OTC runs this place. Roman says he never forgot about him, and he is the one who signed off on his ass being there. Roman says Fatu doesn't deserve this matchup, and that if he gives him this matchup, it will be nepotism. And then that's when Jacob Fatu attacks Roman Reigns. Fatu then poses with the World Heavyweight Championship, basically hit him with they saying it was like paying homage to Haku by basically putting his hand on his throat, on his mouth, or whatever it was that he did. I don't know what he did. But then after that, Roman Reigns basically spitting up. Jacob Fatu poses with the title. After that, he poses the title. He walks out of the ring. Roman then grabs the microphone and says, Jacob! He basically yelling. He challenges. He says, you want me at Backlash? You got it. I'll see you at Backlash. After that, Fatu tells Roman he's not waiting for Backlash. He'll see his ass next week on Raw, and the show comes to a close. Now, again, besides these two segments that I mentioned, which was the Seth Rollins segment and the Roman Reigns segment that opened the show, which was the cinema part, and Roman Reigns coming out. Besides that, those two Roman Reigns spots and Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, this show was boring. But yes, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns did enough on this show to give it a C-. Close to a D+, but we'll give it a C-. This show is boring. They don't know how to book a Bafemi. They don't know how to book anything else except for Roman Reigns. And right now, this company is using Roman Reigns and his family again to carry the product because they simply don't know how to write and they don't know how to do anything with the company. This company is screwed because you have people back there who are just lazy and don't know how to write. They don't know how to book anything. It's the same thing every single week that I come on here and say to you guys. They are very, very lazy. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about Monday Night Raw. If you guys thought it was a great show, if you guys thought it was a horrible show, different opinion than mine. If you guys thought it was if you guys thought it was okay, it was in the middle. Again, I gave it a C- because it was just boring outside of certain spots. But let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about it. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more good content headed your way. Share with your friends and families to help the channel continue to grow. Until next time, guys, see you real soon.